Hey guys, GamingSmoke here. We're back again for another box showcase video, but today going to be going through Strength. Strength does have some of my favorite units in it, so I'll slowly go through them bit by bit. This unit is actually quite good. He actually seals super attack. So back in the day when I didn't have better units, he was a unit I would use a lot to seal, and he was actually oh, okay, I forgot about this passive. He actually has an attack plus 12% for every strength key sphere obtained, which is actually a very good passive. This Goten is actually very good. He most recently got his Dokkan Awakening. He's actually an orb changer, so he changes a physical key to rainbow. The ones that change keys to rainbows aren't the best, unfortunately, but they're better than the units that change rainbow into something else. So it's not too bad, not too bad. This Goku was a Goku you got from a crossover event, a One Piece and Dragon Ball crossover event. At that time, I didn't have strong enough units to take on that event so well, and I wasn't able to farm many of him. Some people farmed so many of this unit that they basically farmed him to use for LR Goku, and it made that grind so much easier. But unfortunately, as I said, I didn't have the best unit, so I wasn't able to perform too well in that event. This unit is actually very good, Dracula Man, as he seals super attacks. It was a unit I would use when I used to do the strike events, so he would come in handy very often. This Beerus is actually very good. I do have quite a number of copies of him, which I'm yet to do anything with. I'm not sure if I should put them in super attack, but I'm probably going to use them in the hidden potential system. I just really don't want to waste an hourglass to reverse him to use those units, then to put him back, and he's a unit I don't use, so there's no rush. There's no rush to open up his pass just yet. This Pan is very good. Make sure you get her from the event. She's actually very decent. If you're lucky, you're able to pull multiple copies, and you do get extra copies just by doing the achievements by playing the event. So as you can see, I've given her some investment in the hidden potential system, mainly to give her the crit and the additional attack. As you can see, she recovers 25% of damage dealt as HP. So she's actually quite a decent unit. This was a unit I would use for the Goku Super Strike event, as he has a rare chance to stun the enemy, and he has a high chance of attack plus 70%. So he was quite a hard hitter back in the day. This Rildo is actually quite decent as he lowers attack, and you can pair him with his non-Hyper Metal Rildo version and have them both on the same team. So let's see. So this Fasha is a Great Ape Fasha. She does have the ability to transform. She's not only is she in the giant category, but she's also in the Peppy Girls category and Low Caste Warrior category. She does have a number of categories to her name that is quite different to some other units like Kof Super Saiyan 4 Goku, but yeah, she is okay. This Yakon is actually a unit that lowers damage received by 30% when guard is activated, so he can come in handy in super strike events. But remember, it has to be a type that they're strong against, so it has to be against the physical type. This Trunks is very good for the Goku event when I was using a full strength team. So he gives an attack and defense buff of 15% to all allies. So he's quite good, and you get him from the Super Strike event. You can actually use him to raise the SA of LR Trunks if you have that unit. Spirit Bomb Goku I've got. Master Roshi. He's actually quite good. I do like these units on their respective Super and Extreme teams, as their passive gives a key plus 2 plus a great chance of attack and defense plus 30%. For me, their passive pretty much goes off most of the time, so he is quite good as a filler unit if you want to increase your overall damage and output of your units, as well as increase their defense. So this Cyberman was given as a gift. I think it was April Fool's. I'm slowly trying to get him to SA10 by using the random Cyberman I pull from friend summons. So he causes immense damage to the enemy while sacrificing 10% of HP. So he's more of a gimmick, and he has an attack and defense plus 81% only once when facing 3 or less enemies. So they're a one-hit kill pretty much. They are quite an interesting team. As you can see, 3, 1, 8, 1 at HP, attack and defense. Quite an odd number, and they give a buff of all types, attack and defense plus 3, 1, 8, 1. So they are quite an interesting unit. So 81 seems to be the gimmick, as well as 3. So yeah, they're not too bad actually. They're quite a funny unit. I've used them before. Here we have a Super Saiyan Gogeta. He was one of the first units I got to 100%. Actually, not first. Not too long ago, I got into 100%, but he was a unit I would use quite often. I still use him to this day on my strength team. I really hope they give him an easy A, but it's possible they may not. But you never know, because his leader skill is a bit outdated with all types Ki +3 and attack +3000. That doesn't really cut it these days, unfortunately. But he is quite decent nonetheless. Let's see. So Super Saiyan God Goku. He's actually, I think, the best linking partner for Ultra Instinct Goku. But as you can see, he's SA1. So he's not a unit I use very often, unfortunately. If I do use him, he will just be there for support for the Super Saiyan Goku. What else I got? Omega Shenron. I tried so hard to get him back in the day and I never got him. And then randomly I got him like two copies, I think. So, actually not 2 copies. I don't know what I'm talking about because he's not even SA10. So I think I only got like maybe 1 copy actually. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Unfortunately, they haven't done the update where you can see how much percentage is they've been activated in Hidden Potential system, which is a bit annoying, but is what it is. What else have I got? So I'm still trying to raise LR Freezer to SA10, and I hope they bring out his campaign where you can get him a lot easier. Here is my favorite unit on the strength team, Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I think I have maybe 3 parts open for this Goku, if I remember correctly. He's like the hardest hitter on the team, and when I have him linked with the Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku Kid, he does crazy amounts of damage, like 3 million critting all the time, here, left, right and center. So he's definitely a unit I use a lot. I got this Pan, I think, at the same time I got the LR Gohan. She's not a unit I use, unfortunately, but she does have quite an interesting passive where she gives herself a defensive buff of 100% for 7 turns. But again, she's not a unit I use very often. This Pycon is very good. He's very good. He recently came out on JP, but they made him Int instead of Strength. And they took away, I think it was Prepare for Battle. I believe he's the only non-Saiyan unit that has Prepare for Battle. So that makes him quite interesting on this super strength team. And I've just pulled one more copy of him on the new Other Worlds banner that came back after like a year. So I thought I'd use 15 stones and try and get him. This Vegeta just recently got his Dokkan Awakening. I was lucky enough to pull another copy. So I'm going to use him, or if I've already used him, to open up the extra path. I'm not sure if I'm going to get him to SA10, to be honest, as he's kind of there just as support and a blocker. But I do have the medals to Dokkan Awaken him. I just haven't done it yet. So I have Broly. I got him with the Redstone. I thought he'd be a unit I would use, as at the time I did not have the LR Broly. But I don't really use him, to be honest. This Trunks is actually one of my favourite support units on Super Strength, as he gives allies an attack and defensive buff of 25%. Unfortunately, I don't have, what's his name, Toppo. So that is the best unit I have that can give support. Here we have Yamcha. We actually got 5 copies of him. I put the other 4 in the Hidden Potential system, as I hope that his event will come back with the baseball event, so we can actually farm his super attack with the free-to-play Yamcha. So that is why I did not use him as SA fodder, his other counterparts. I know some people did, but I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. What else have we got here? So this Bardock is actually quite good. His passive gives an attack buff of 30% to all allies when HP is 30% or above. That is quite a good passive. As long as your HP doesn't drop below 30%, it's worth it. Because he only gives attack buff and not a defense buff, he's not a unit I use that often, as I prefer to use Trunks, who gives an attack and defensive buff. As you can see, I've got Perfect Cell, SA1, and I can't even be bothered to Dokkan Awaken him. I have the medals, I just can't be bothered. He's not a unit I'd use, and he's SA1. No point using the SA1 unit in your team, especially if you have units that are better at SA10. Again, like Margin Vegeta, I'm hoping they one day bring out an event where he has a farmable super attack. So that's why I haven't used any Kais on him. And here we have one of my favorite units, LR Vegito Blue, or Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegito. So 100% in Hidden Potential system. He's like one of the hardest hitting units in the game, and he raises his attack and defense indefinitely every time he supers, but you have to make sure you do his 12 to 17 key super and not his 18 key super if you want to raise his attack and defense. So it's definitely a unit I recommend, and they've made it a bit easier for people to get him if you don't have the required I think it's fist battle units to do the achievements to get the Potara earrings. You can actually buy a few of them in the barber shop, so he's definitely worth it. Here we have one of my favorite units, again another one of the hardest hitting units in the game, mainly because of his passive. He counters every normal attack with tremendous power upon receiving a normal attack from the enemy. He doesn't counter super attacks, unfortunately, and he has an attack and defensive buff of 100%, so he pretty much tanks every hit, and he does crazy amount of damage with his counters. He does get an attack boost of 50%, so greatly raises attack for 1% after he supers. So if he counters after he's supered, he'll be doing even more damage, which is kind of crazy. So he's actually a very decent unit. And I forgot to say, he does have rage mode, kind of like Beerus. So when HP drops below 30%, he doesn't take any damage, and he does 3 different types of super attacks as well, depending on how much ki you have. Unlike some of the great apes, they have to get a 12 ki before they can actually super, which is not the best. So they kind of improved upon that mechanic with this Vegeta here. So here we have LR Broly. I randomly got him. I wasn't even trying. I can't remember what banner it was on, but he randomly came up at a multi, and I was like, wow. So I managed to make sure I farmed his super attack from the free Broly that drops from the Dokkan event, the physical Dokkan event. I only have 1 copy, so as you can see, I only opened up the free, only used the free orbs in the hidden potential system. Not free orbs, but the, you know what I mean. The pass that are free. I haven't opened up any other pass. He's actually a very good unit. He does lower his defense by 20%, but if he's on a good enough team where his defense is high enough, that minus 20,000 does not do too much. I think I said 20% before, but it's actually 20,000. But he gives himself an attack buff of 80,000. So like Marseilles was 50,000, he's actually 80,000. So that makes a hell of a lot of difference for that. So he actually does crazy amount of damage, and the fact that he supers twice as well makes him even more formidable. He's kind of like a combination of the strength legendary Super Saiyan Broly and the physical legendary Super Saiyan Broly. So they put both of those together and made this new Broly. I remember when he came out randomly, no one was expecting it. It was just before a world tournament and he just popped up. So yeah, he actually did help a lot of people out, and I was a fool back then and tried so hard to get him, and I never got him. And as I said before, I randomly was playing the game, did a summon, and he popped up. So yeah, just keep playing and maybe you'll be lucky and you pull him one day. So I do have an extra copy of Vegito, the one that Dokkans into LR Vegito Blue. So I hope that they release a few more Potara earrings so I can Dokkan Awaken him to the 2nd stage to make him a bit better. I've given him some orbs. As he is like a free-to-play unit, I'd use him alongside his Vegito Blue counterpart in some free-to-play Dokkan videos. So everyone should be able to get that unit, that's for sure. So I have all these freezers just in case I pull Angel Freezer, Asian Golden Freezer. I haven't yet. This unit we got for April Fool's, oh no, Valentine's Day I think. This unit serves no purpose unfortunately, so that you can see 2018 April the 1st. April Fool's, not Valentine's Day. But yeah, it serves no purpose. It's just there as a trophy. You can't use it for anything. Kind of, it's basically like Elder Kai. It's just there in your box, but you can't even use this to raise the SA of anything. But I thought I would save it just in case for a trophy. So I got also Ultimate Gohan randomly. I tried to get him before in his banner, but I wasn't successful, and then I randomly got him one day. So I think I pulled 2 copies of him as well. So he is actually alright. He doesn't do the best on his team, and I don't have that many good hybrid Saiyan units, but I have a few good ones, but not the best. But yeah, he's an okay unit. I won't really turn my nose up at him, but he does have a farmable SA, just in case you didn't know. So don't use any Kais on him, as he does have a farmable SA from the Universal Survival Saga tournament event. So you can get him from there to raise his SA from 1 to 10 quite easily. So here's I have my new upgraded Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. I only have used the free pass in him in the hidden potential system. I use him a lot on the villains team. You've probably seen him in some of my videos, but I do like to use my agility one as he's 100% in the hidden potential system. But nonetheless, this one is still quite decent, and I definitely recommend him. So we have Jiren. I was able to pull him, I think, maybe on the 3rd multi. I was lucky enough to pull him. I only pulled 1. So I have, you can see, he's not at SA10, as he does have a farmable super attack. If you wait until they implement the last stage of the Tournament of a Power event, you'll be able to farm his super attack, and that will be the time when his event comes out as well, so you can Dokkan Awaken him. And also it should be the same time that the new Vegeta Blue Super Saiyan God Vegeta comes out. So that is the I can't remember what the name is for that Vegeta actually, but it's the one where he's like transcended and he gets a bit stronger. If you watch the anime, you would have seen what happened when him and Goku's Kaioken, and then Vegeta had this buff. Okay, but yeah, he's quite a decent unit. He has a medium chance to stun all enemies, and he gives himself an attack and defensive buff of 120%. So he is actually quite decent. I recommend him quite a lot actually. So here I have the free-to-play Caulifla. So I'm slowly trying to get all the medals to awaken them and then awaken them, etc., and then turn her into a Super Saiyan. And then I'll be using her probably on a Universe 6 free-to-play team. Here I have another Pycon. As I said, I recently pulled him from the Other Worlds banner. So he was the guaranteed featured SSR, and he's the one I got out of him and Goku. So I can't really complain, as he's quite decent. Definitely use him to open up the other path. I think it's top left, which I haven't done. But yeah, so like I've done in my other videos, I'll probably tell you which unit is my favorite. Okay, I do like using LR Vegito Buu. LR Vegito Buu is probably one of my favorite units, if not my favorite. But he shares the spot. Actually, let's say my top 3. So Vegito Blue is top, along with Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, and then Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So yeah, those are my strength units. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do like my videos, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I hopefully will see you in the next video. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.